Big, what's up, man?
What up, Billy?
How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling, man. It's that time, bro.
It is that time. 8 p.m., man. Well, 8:01 now.
8:01.
Slacking. Slacking. We were on at 8 o'clock, though, so that's good.
Yeah, we made it. We made it.
So,
yes, we did.
hello to everyone. Welcome to the show. It is that time again, 8 p.m. on Sunday. It is April 21st, and we are live
2024.
2024. Yes, it's important to throw that out there. Good point. So, welcome to any and everyone. If you're watching now, you're watching later. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you comment below if you've got anything you want to say. And we're going to jump right into this topic.
And we'd love to hear from you.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, just gotta, I don't know. This gonna be a topic, man. Where I think we're gonna hear from somebody. Somebody's gonna say something. My opinion.
I think so too.
I know you're gonna say something.
Yeah, I mean, somebody needs to say something, man. I mean, we look at society in the West and just how wild it's become. Everywhere you go, somebody's twerking, right? Twerk fest.
If you know, I don't have to do a body count, but everybody twerks, right? I mean, I twerk. Like
you twerk too?
Nah, yeah. I'd like to be able to learn how to twerk though.
You don't learn
a microphone twerking.
Save your back, man. Save your back for when you're old.
You talking that shit? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say, man. I mean, the topic the starting topic tonight is female body count, and I think it's something that's really important because it just, it makes me wonder, how did we get here in the world where our girls don't understand where their value come from? The girls, the women, all of that. I mean, what makes you most precious is when it's like when you're untouched. That's what makes you the most valuable.
That's your opinion, though.
That's my opinion. Is that wrong? I mean, if we're going to a strip club,
wrong. There's nothing. I mean, your opinion is your opinion.
No, I mean, I want to hear what you got to say. I mean, we're going to a strip club.
You get a scenario. We're going to a strip club.
That's different. That's I mean, they do consider that like sex work, right? I mean, I know some people label that's like a new term.
I don't think so. No, I think it's a job like going to McDonald's.
Do you really?
Absolutely. You ain't. Yeah. If nobody's penetrating you, you're going there to get paid. You're going there to provide a service. You're going there to make money.
You heard
not
about
everybody who works at strip club is a hoe. That's what you're getting at. And not everybody.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
I know you did. I said that's what you're getting at.
I wasn't going on that path, but I was just going to ask if you heard of the Champagne Room.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've never been to one.
They ain't doing that at McDonald's.
It depends.
It depends on what
you pull up in and what you're doing at the window and who you're talking to.
Max combo.
Depends on who you're talking to. So again, this goes to the individual.
Right.
It's not a blanket thing. But this topic of the body count, right? So when you're saying it's almost like it's precious, is what you're getting at.
What I'm saying, it is the lack of. It's the one thing that you want smaller. I mean, when when we were growing up, well, when I was young, let me say this. I mean, I'm talking the body count. You want a smaller number.
I'm glad you clarified that.
You want a smaller number. I mean, and as close to zero as possible. And you don't want to be in, as a young woman. I don't think you want to be in double digits.
Why do you feel that way?
I just, the way I look at it, and this just could be me. Hell, I could be wrong. But I just think, I mean, let's go for this. Let's look at it like this. Let's just compare it. I mean, and this is, a hip hop topic, since I just thought about this. But LL was, his song was, pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by a building, right? Those cookies were intact before that building crashed on them.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So let's say you have a young lady who, no fault of her own, It was
We ain't talking about that. We
no,
talking about choice.
no. I'm gonna okay. All right, come on, choice. Okay, well then I'll skip
I
that.
mean,
Then
because body count, if someone takes something from you, it's just like you being robbed or,
well, how would you view
somewhere else.
that individual sexually? Is what I mean.
Someone that had something taken from them.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm not talking about no fault of their own. It is no fault of their own, but I'm saying mentally, how does one with your view that individual now? Because they're no longer pure.
As a victim.
Okay, so you're still willing to accept that individual though,
That
in your
wasn't
sex life or in
talking
your
right. When we talk about body count, we're talking
Or
about choice. I mean, if there's a situation, and this is, a little far, but, something happens and, there's a train ran on the girls, 5 guys, those are 5 numbers. If she wasn't a part of that party and that agreement, I mean, of course that is 5, but was that a
I was gonna
choice?
say, yeah,
Was
no.
that her choice? What I'm saying is the choice to do it or not, because what happens is you can never miss what you don't have. And that's traumatizing. I mean, something on that level, that's far extreme.
That's a whole nother level. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a whole nother
that's far extreme. But what I'm talking what the topic about tonight is about the choice
okay.
um
Alright, so we'll stick to that choice. I got
of,
you.
of the body count because
I was just bringing it up as
I
far as
mean
body
what
count. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean if and I know that in today's world they move a little differently. Um they don't think about the long term stuff. They're just thinking about let's have fun right now, this and that, blah blah blah.
And
But
all due respect, I think that's always been the case. I mean,
with young people, yeah.
I'm
I
sure a
mean,
lot of us are around today about somebody having a good time. So, if you know, let's be
I
honest.
mean, there are people that think about the long term, consequences of things. They don't always just move on every situation that they want to do.
Alright, well, let's get into this then. So, we're talking about body count with an individual, with a female. We put female body count, and it can go either way. Is it the female individual thinking about it, a male? So, what do you feel about the male?
I think men are designed differently.
Okay.
Men are walking around with a projectile. I mean,
Yes, yeah,
I
I
mean, I'm
mean,
just being realistic.
no, no,
It's built
I
that
feel
way
you,
for
but
a reason.
you sound hypocritical though if you're gonna tell
I'm
me.
not being a hypocrite. Hypocrite means you're saying stuff that you don't believe. That's what it is. Biologically, we're made different for that reason. And
Right. You said stuff that you don't believe. That's what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you, you sound hypocritical to me. I'm telling you hypocritical in what I believe is that you sound like you're saying because we have projectiles, we go around and sow the seed or whatever, but the female needs to adhere to a certain number, basically, is what I'm hearing from
I'm not saying that men should be responsible as well,
you. Excuse
but
me.
there's a reason why. I mean, men and women, they come together, they conceive a child. The woman's down for 10 months. The man he's out rolling around the next day. Now, with being a man
Mhm.
comes a great amount of responsibility. And I think sometimes that gets lost as well.
Yeah, because if you can run around and impregnate 10 women in a day, don't mean you should.
Oh, you
And
absolutely should not. You
yeah,
absolutely should not.
can you take care of those individuals? That's
Right.
another thing.
But I can guarantee if you put um a man in a room with 20 women and he's looking for a wife,
Mhm.
he ain't looking for the one with a 200 body count.
Okay.
Because this is what now this is my brain, but I think a lot of men think this way as well. If a woman's got a body count that's high, and I'm not saying that's high, that is, whatever. It's high. But a man's got to think about that's the place where my child has to come out of. My child's got to come out of somewhere where people been walking in a place with muddy boots and
You don't have to though.
you know,
You can have a C-section today. I mean, you can
you
opt for
you can have a C-section, but the way that children are born, typically, C-section is a I won't say elective. Sometimes it's emergency surgery. But when you impregnate a woman, it's
Mhm.
the plan that she's going to have a natural childbirth.
Natural childbirth.
Right.
Well, that's if you and your spouse or your loved one or your partner discuss that. I mean, that's the
True, because I know nowadays
right.
you got the surrogate thing going on. There's a whole lot. We can get to all that stuff later.
We can get into all of it. No man.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, honestly and truly, if we all have personal brands, okay, and if you're a woman with a brand that you're just screwing everybody, because I'm looking at this from a standpoint of what's best for society. That's the way that I view it.
Okay, so not just from your standpoint.
It's not. This is not just. I mean, but this is part of the whole process. But I'm looking at it from a whole aspect. Okay. The world, the way everything is being painted, in today's world, it's like, would you be, women, they want the equality until it inconvenience.
Okay, let me ask you this though. Let me present a few, since this seems to be, you and I seem to be drifting apart on this subject. Not in my opinion, where we're going with it. Let me present a question to you, and if if you want to answer it, fine. No, it doesn't matter. But I mean, I guess it does matter because I'm curious. So if, let's say you come across the woman who, has all the potential in the world in your mind, and she's what you want in a woman, and everything's working, everything's great. You find out on her own that she slept with 15 men. Do you say, well, you know what? I don't want my child to go through that, because that's been, I don't know the proper term for it, whatever, been banged up, tore up, whatever the phrase you want to use. I'm just saying, whatever.
Right.
And, or it's not something that I want. Do you automatically dismiss her? Do you move forward? How do you handle that situation? If she's everything you've been looking for, but her prior decisions led her to those things, how do you handle that? I don't see how. Like,
I think it depends on how old you are.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me present. Go ahead. No, you said age. I think
it depends. I mean, if you're looking for, if you're getting started in life, okay, let's say you're graduating, from college. Okay, you decide, hey, I want a wife. You go out, you meet a girl. She's everything you want, but she's got 22 other guys that you have sex with. In today's world, it may be low. You know what I'm saying? Like, in today's world, that might be low, man.
I don't know the number.
But that's something you got to consider, because the thing about it is, each individual that she's had sex with, it's a different experience that gives her something to recall or to hunger for again, or to say, I don't like that. Or
okay, so do you hold the man to the same standards? He shouldn't be with, he should only be with 2 people, 1 person, 3 people. I mean, is that where you hold?
I think ideally it's better if both people were their own beginning, because then they know each other. But essentially,
virgin from the jump, both parties.
I would say that would be ideally.
But share that experience with each other.
Right. I mean, because everything is new to both of you. You have that same euphoric experience and that complete desire for one person. And I think what happens is,
well, yeah, but not everybody shares an euphoric experience. It could be painful, could be
abstinent, could be, but I believe if you have,
and then if a man can't, I mean, there's, we're talking about many issues that hit home that could happen to an individual in the first time, intimacy wise. The male might not be able to perform, the woman may not be, sexually aroused. I mean, there's all kinds of shit going on.
Right, so, she may not be able to perform. I mean, it goes both ways.
That's what I'm saying. Sit here and paint this picture like, oh, the first time, So now in her mind, every time you want to have something, if she's got this thing where you hurt her, is that going to be going forward with you? So like, doesn't mean go out and experiment, run laps on the track. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of them things where I disagree with you that I don't know. I mean, it's a tough subject to nail down, because first of all, for the record, I don't believe any woman should be told not told, suggested to how many males or women or whoever they should sleep with. I also don't think that a male, I think, you do what the hell you want to do. But I wanted to present the question differently. That's what I was getting at. So
I understand, and I'm not saying that nobody's got to listen to me. We all as adults, you get to make your own choices.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to present the question differently to you.
No, right. What I'm saying though, I just think it brings. I mean, and I know that we know the internet is its own little special place. Because the things that you see, I think, are exacerbated on the internet. But I see so many things, and I hear so many things. I hear, women talk about the things that they do, sexually, just so open, just no shame.
Yeah, but that individual doesn't represent all the women, though. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, I hope that they're learning from that. I hope that they're seeing the outcome of what that person is getting.
Shit, I see men talking about they done hit this and ran
They've
that.
They've always done that, dude.
Well, I mean, does that make it okay for women?
Men are more aggressive, and they it's a different look. We got to really understand there is a difference between a man and a woman. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
And there in the equality thing, we're equal as humans, but we are not biologically equal. And what I'm saying is, I believe there's more damage done to a woman having multiple sexual partners than it is with a man, because a man typically is controlling the environment for that, how that experience goes, typically. So, I mean, you look at
your business. So I think you're telling too much of your business.
Now listen to what I'm saying. It just look.
You might have a woman just ready. Look, I'm in charge, dog.
Listen to what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead.
Biologically, a woman's built to receive. A man is built to give. Okay. And that's typically maybe how the occurrence goes. How it happens.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, I know that when women are younger, because I got a lot of female friends, when they're younger, sometimes they're just having sex just because the guy wants to. They're not even.
I'm gonna tell you what you sound like when you just said that.
What?
Yeah, I got a lot of black friends, dog. Let me tell you, man.
So what does that got to do with it?
You say you got a lot of female friends. You can't speak for a female, man. You just.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm telling you what they've told me.
I have a lot of female friends. I got a lot of black friends.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Laying down. So, we're going to be straightforward.
I understand. I'm just telling you what I've been told.
Okay,
my thing is with that.
That sounds better. You're telling me what you've heard from them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I've heard this is what things they've told me.
Okay, there you go. That's
from us being young, and what happens is we're all fragile people. Honestly and truly, I think men's hearts are more fragile than women's.
Really?
Dude, look. Worst thing in the world, man, is for a dude to be with a girl and he find out she sleep with somebody else. I mean, that will send, potentially send him on a tirade. I mean, it turn him into a real savage.
Yeah.
And then you get collateral damage from other people that shouldn't even, be receiving the product of his hurt. Because when men hurt, they just go out there and just.
All right. Not good, man. Let me present the question to you differently so I can see your response to that before we go any deeper. So, let's say the consensus is that you'd prefer that both be, fresh into it, right? We're both new to this.
I think it's a better situation.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, I see people could agree with that, I'm sure. So, but let's just.
I think it's better because I really believe the less trauma that you have to deal with in relationships, you have more to build on. Because
someone was better
trauma
than you.
is like, let's say, now I'm gonna get into some mathematics.
You didn't hear that though, did you?
What'd you say?
I said if someone was better than you You don't want her to have that in her mind that someone performed better than you.
Nobody wants that.
I mean, no, I'm saying, is that a concern though, based on how many?
I don't think that's a concern because there's so many factors that deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and get into the math then. Just get boom. Go ahead.
All right. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I hear what you're saying with that, but there's a lot of other factors that come into play.
Okay.
Than that, but it's like, okay, let's say we all start at 0, right?
Okay.
Like we all start at 0. Trauma takes you into the negative. Okay. So if you're with somebody that's had trauma from previous relationships, you got to try to get them, or they have to try to get themselves, because you can't do anything but provide yourself to someone the way that you are. If that helps them, but it's still their decision if they're going to move forward, because people hold on to things. But we all start at 0 when we're born. We all start at 0, minus the stuff that travels through the bloodline. But we're all pretty much.
Is each time you have sexual relation with someone, it's not always trauma though.
It's not always traumatic. That's not what I'm saying.
Trauma, what do you mean? Like, you mean
what I'm saying is
trauma to that area? Is that what you're talking? I mean, like, I'm trying to.
What I'm saying is the potential of trauma from previous, and may not be relationships, from previous sexual experiences. That can create. I'm not saying every experience.
Not comfortable, wasn't ready, or something moved too fast, and you're making it
right.
Should I have done that? I got what you're saying. The question,
right? Or the regret of, like, sometimes, we've all made bad decisions, not just sexually, but just throughout life. You live long enough, you're gonna make some bad decisions. If you breathing, you making some bad decisions. So having that, there's always going to be that, but in having that tied to when you're married, he thinks he's getting. I'm just saying, if he thinks he's getting a virgin, on that night, and it's not, and where is her mind? Where is her mind?
All right. So again,
and I'm just saying, because we look at, think about it. Men look at wives differently than they look at what they want to play with. Let's just be honest, Billy.
Yeah, but why would Okay, all right. I'll go down this rabbit hole. We're gonna go down. This is a hole. This is a different hole. But let me present this question to you separately for a second, because I've been wanting to ask this since I presented the first question, because I wanted to ask it the other way around. So if you meet someone that you're really hung up on, right? Let's find that you found the one, and she's right, and we're talking about mentally and physically and emotionally, in your opinion, everything is just, this is what I need, and she's either a virgin, or she's only been with her high school sweetheart, or whatever, something that was intimate at the time for her, and now she's older, or whatever.
So you saying she's only been with her high school sweetheart,
or whatever? I'm saying, like, she was with her high school sweetheart or her boyfriend or whatever, and only when they were young, and now she's matured, whatever. Somebody wants to get into speech therapy thing here, but whatever. So okay, she's been with one dude only a handful of times, and she's got everything I need, everything I want, and I like her personality and her looks and her she's whatever it is you're into. But now she finds out you've hit 15 down the block. She don't want to be with you. Is that wrong?
That hardly ever happens. Because women want men to be attractive.
If you meet,
that very well could happen.
But
it's more unlikely
for the male in that way.
It's more unlikely. It's a double standard, Billy. I mean, this is a double standard. It's more unlikely for a woman to reject a man because of sexual partners.
We'd have to hear from a woman on that. I can't. I don't know. For some reason. Look, I don't have a lot of friends, for the record, so it doesn't. I can't speak for nobody. I don't know. You have a lot of interactions with people, so you can speak to it, I guess, to a point, from someone who's told you something. So that's fine.
Yeah, they have told me, and I know, and I'm a great observer of human behavior, and I can tell you, typically the guys that women want to sleep with, they all want to. So it's all about it. The way I see it with women, it's like, okay, yeah, you may have had him, but he's mine. He's mine now. And see, men,
we're talking about different women then.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about a different established woman. I just told you she doesn't want that.
Oh, if she doesn't want it, that's her personal choice.
But is that something that you ruin by that mentality of, as long as the woman is only, so many in, the male, you said earlier about being, we're rockets. We're always ready.
Rockets, right?
We're not opinions. We're not talking about fact. We're just
right.
Opinions. And I'm not saying you said that to a T.
Just having a conversation.
A conversation, absolutely.
But I think it depends on the way the relationships were handled, because there were girls, very respectable girls that had boyfriends, and they had sex with their boyfriends, but they only had sex with their boyfriends.
Okay, but what if they had sex every day? Every day for 5 years with their boyfriend, 3 times a day.
Let me tell you this. From some people are not going to agree with this, but at that point, it's almost like rehearsal of a relationship, where that's actual relationship behavior. That's different than someone just having a bunch of sexual partners that they're not in a relationship with.
So that's not a body count.
It is absolutely a body count, but it's measured.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Okay, but it's a relationship body count,
right?
Okay,
because if you've shown you can be committed to someone, I mean, they may have had sex a couple hundred times, but they've been in a relationship for 3 years. That's different than someone that's out, and that's for the guy and the girl.
So you think it's different if a different individual runs up in somebody versus the person who's been in there every day that's with the individual?
Absolutely.
Because the individual, as the female, what about the male? So like, okay, we're putting this burden on the female, in my opinion, on the topic.
No, I'm saying for both of them. I think it's you're practicing relationship at that point. It's not just out here. It's not like the guys out here, let me just bludgeon everything I can, just stab everything I can stab up in here. He's actually saying, okay, this is the girl I like. I want to be with her. We've decided that we want to go further. We want to give each other our bodies, but we're together. I think that.
I guess my question is about having a child earlier and all that. So right now at this point,
I think children need to be left out of that until you are adult to decide y'all gonna be together. Because
hold on, but if you had 200 times or whatever, 100 times you've had sexual intercourse, though, at that point, that child has to travel through. That's what I'm asking you is, what is the difference in separate individuals, or the same individual? Because at that point, you said,
are you asking a real question?
I'm asking in general. It's like you're saying, if a child comes through there, I'm saying like it's going to be a sacred thing. But
it's your child. If you've been the one, mm-hmm. It's the child is y'all's creation.
That's why I'm asking.
No, I got you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come be judgmental about your question, because it was a good question. But let me clarify.
Come on.
In that particular instance, if two people have came together and they've been together for years and they make a child together, mm-hmm. hopefully they've decided they're going to be together. Hopefully they're married. That's what you want. That's what you want. Well, what I'm saying from a societal standpoint, I think that's
there you go. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
From a societal standpoint, I think it's better if somebody has been together and they decided we're going to get married, we're going to build a family. Families are good for society, for community. Families, not broken homes.
Not broken homes. I agree with that. Homes. Yeah, I agree with that statement 100%.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
So it's totally different. So what's your question? Let me just clarify. Was your question, is it better for two people, a person to have sex 200 times with the same person versus having sex one time with 200 people? Is that what you're asking?
Not at all. No. Not 200 people.
Okay.
Well, if that's what she wants to do, I mean,
look,
that's her business.
I'm not saying anybody. Look, like I said earlier, people can do what they want to do, but they got to deal with the repercussions of it. Because there's not many men that will find that something they want to purchase. And what I mean when I say purchase,
invest their life in.
Right.
I got
so they say I want to make this my wife. And everywhere you go with this woman, there's a dude that she's with. Think about that. As a
That
man, who
happens,
wants
though.
to?
I mean, so if that was the case, then women wouldn't. I mean, men wouldn't have women. Women wouldn't have men. I mean, that's
What do you
it's a.
mean? I don't understand.
I mean, you said you had a lot of female friends.
True.
How many of them are single? As far as only one time.
What do you mean? As far as only one time?
Only one time with intercourse. That come out and told
How
you.
many of them are single?
One man. Yeah. How many times? The ones you're referring to have they had 2 men, 3 men, 4 men?
I mean, but I'm decades in life, man. I'm decades in life. They're decades. Look, this. Let me re-clarify something too.
Okay.
This primarily. This conversation is primarily for people that of adult marrying age, but young adult. We're talking about the 21 to 25.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? As you get older, and
you got to clarify that from the beginning, because I'm just
you're
thinking.
right, and that's my fault, because there's no way.
I didn't know.
There's no. I mean, I'm not saying there's no way, because there could be a way, but it's highly unlikely if you're dealing with a woman that's
single individual, or a single man.
Right, a man or woman that's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and they haven't had, their share around the block if they've been single. Because at that point, you're trying to navigate, because I know what I found when I was coming up. A lot of people got married young, meaning under 30. And I hate to say that, because it really should be like under 27, something like that. That's when, like, typically I think it's ideal.
Under 20, under 18, we're getting married years and years and years ago.
Yeah. I mean, and then we can go back as far as where, remember there were, as soon as a girl, because I can't even call a woman, she had her cycle.
Then
12 years old, 11 years old,
married off and shit.
Married off.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Married off, building a family. That's kind of why they had those huge families. Now, some women would say, well, that was just so she could be controlled and, all of that. But that was just a way of life. And some of those women had good men and had great families, and they didn't feel trapped. And somehow in today's situation, it just feels like, and this is just from, anybody that's seeing this is on the internet, watching the internet, so they're on social media. But they see, say again?
I said most likely, yeah.
Yeah. So they see the activity that's being portrayed on social media by women. Women typically want to present themselves in today's world as equal, but it seems more equal when convenient. Because then you still hear them say, well, I still want him to hold the door, I still want him to do this, but it's so complicated. I would love to have once we build a shadow, we need a woman's voice on this conversation.
This topic, yeah, you definitely.
I think that the structure, the family structure, has been broke down on purpose.
Really,
I really do, because you got to remember now what programs us? TV programming,
or an individual just not going to be told what to do no more.
I mean, look, that's fine, but everybody has.
I mean, the women's suffrage movement alone. We're talking about women. There was no social media. I'm going to tell you, but hold on. There was no social media. Women were tired of being told what to do. Percentage of women. I'm not saying all women, but obviously there was a movement, right? So there's been this before social. So I don't agree with you. I just think that social media is an outlet now to give you more access, obviously. But at some point, Susan B. Anthony and all these individuals, they all came together and said, hey, we're going to move along and get things rolling here. Women's rights, all the way down from voting to you name it, getting their own credit card, own bank accounts in the 70s, 60s, whatever was going on. So, that was way before social media. So women have been trying to move along and get from underneath the thumb of somebody, in my opinion, for a long time. So if you're saying it's planned, then the women...
Why is it always...
Women got together and said, hey, we're not going to keep continuing to do what the man wants us to do. We're going to do what we want to do.
Why does it always seem as if... Because I hear that phrase or that slogan, get from under the thumb of...
Because I think about being pinned down.
Yeah, but then you got to have... But you got to have an abusive man to
Not
have.
true. That's not true. If you didn't have rights in the state, I don't give a damn what the man was going to allow you to
You're
do.
talking about.
I'm talking about women
You're
and
talking about
you're saying social media
What
women.
era are we in? What era are we talking about here, Billy? Because you got me confused now.
I don't know how you're confused by that. You were moving into a statement about social media and the household now, women and having families and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you that before social media, women were changing their ways about how they felt about just staying at home, taking care of the man, cooking, cleaning, having a baby. Because they came out, they wanted to be represented, they wanted to vote, they wanted to have their own checking accounts. That's before social media.
15 years ago.
That's fine. It still leads up to where we are. That doesn't mean social media came along and everybody was like, well, not listening no more. We're starting today because Twitter's on, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
So
it was longer than 50 years ago, because that was
much longer, 120 years ago. The women's suffrage movement and all that. And then of course,
look, I'm not saying that, I mean, I love women. Look, I got black friends. Look,
oh Lord,
what I'm saying is, I think
look, man, seriously, man, hold on. Look, man, let me ask you this, man. Hold on.
All right.
Wait a minute. I don't even know which one it is. Never mind. Just roll. I'm sorry I cut you off, man. Because I was going to I wanted to. I wanted that. You didn't hear it. See, that's what I'm saying. I had the keys down. I don't know which one.
Oh, we'll do it again.
I just did. You didn't hear it. I don't care no more. Just go ahead. I don't want to ruin it. Who knows?
Okay. Well, let me start in a new place. If I don't, we both kind of lost our thought. But I just think, what's better for a society?
Family.
Exactly.
I agree.
And a family comes with, there are roles, and I know all over the internet you see no gender roles, but
only one of us on the stream grew up in a family.
Okay.
So we may have different opinions on that if we get deeper into that. I have someone in my life who did everything.
Right. I understand that.
I understand that coming from a certain point, you can't provide what another individual can provide. But I can tell you this. She did a damn good job.
And this is not a knock to.
No. I'm just speaking on my own advice, my own, not advice, but experience. I'm just saying that what is better, I agree, but I can't really fully agree because I experienced something different and I know where it led me, what I did, and I'm not fine, but I know what she did and how she did, and how amazing she was and is. Well, was and time when I was growing up, and I can tell you that, I guess it depends on who you ask that question to. I mean, because really, I agree that a family is important, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't have another way.
That's that's because you don't know in another way. And I mean, I'm just saying, it's because just like whatever your upbringing experience is, if it was great, you don't want it to be changed. If it was awful, you want a different one.
But how can it be great if you're talking about the better life would be to have a family and a household, man and woman and all that?
No, I'm just saying, I'm talking about a childhood experience, just that alone. I'm not even talking about parental.
Yeah.
Because like where I grew up, I did grow up in a pretty much traditional family, but in my neighborhood, there was a minimum of 2 kids on average in every house. So if you never didn't have anyone to play with, you always had someone to play with. So by childhood experience, and I'm talking about just the childhood, I'm not talking about, the parental thing right now, but the childhood experience is one that's, it was filled with value, man. It was
mine was as well though, and a single parent. So
but there are people that had bad upbringing experience.
There's also people who've had both parents and had a
bad upbringing experience. Exactly.
But I'm just saying, for the record. Well, go ahead.
I'm just saying, as far as the structure part, the numbers say that's what's better for
Yeah,
children.
and you know me, I would say F the numbers because of my, you know,
it doesn't mean that single
I
parents
know I
fail.
know what you mean. I know
Yeah,
exactly
it
what you
doesn't
mean. I'm
mean
talking
that.
I'm
It just
talking about
means that
overall
it's
how much
ideally
harder it is on this, or they don't get
right.
certain aspects of the life. I get that.
Mhm.
But again, I can't say enough that how much my mother meant to me and what she did for me and my siblings. And she put up here's the thing. We're talking about women and numbers and men and numbers and all this shit. I never saw my mother drink. I never saw her bring a man in the house. I never saw her do nothing she wants, nothing that you're not supposed to do, right?
Mhm.
So it also was the individual. I can tell you this, she had a fucked up life growing up.
Well, she
Okay.
decided that she wanted to be an awesome mom.
So that's what I was going to get at. So also it comes down to individualism, right? It comes down to the
True
person.
indeed. It does
No
come
one,
down to the person. It's
I'm
choices.
getting a little personal right now. I don't really get too personal about my life and all my stuff, but you know, I mean, at some point, I'm sure it will. But
Excuse me.
my mother was exceptional. Now you're saying that I don't know the other side of it, but I do though, because I visited the other side.
I know you visited, but that's not.
I know, and there was nothing wrong with the other side. The other side's fine, nothing wrong with them, great. But I'm just telling you, I know what my mom did, sacrifices she made. She put everybody first, me and my siblings, and I can tell you, it's just it's no match, man. It's like,
well, my mom did the same. My mom did the same. My mom was and mothers are the backbone, the way I see it. Good mothers, they are the glue and the blood of the family. Period. Good mothers. So I mean, there was tons of sacrifices. Just because my mom and my dad lived in the same house with me doesn't mean that she did a lot. She was the backbone of the family.
Yeah.
My dad went out and made sure that we had the resources, and he worked. He worked a lot. I mean,
That's what I'm trying to say. My mom did all of that, and I'm not knocking.
No. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying that she put in the time, the work, after work time,
right?
Sports, include anything you needed to do. She was. I mean, she sacrificed everything to make sure that we all had what we needed. We might not at the time. We might have thought, "Man, this is great." And I look back on things. I can see other kids had certain things, or you can look at other families, obviously. But we didn't. I mean, we had everything we needed. Everything we needed, and everything we wanted to a point. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I get what you're saying. I'm not knocking. And we know each other's mothers well, and we know each other's father.
Right.
Father. So, R.I.P. But I just the comment about the whole family thing. Yes, I agree, but only up to a certain point. And I don't know how far that point goes because I can't.
Right. Well, I can tell you a difference for me, and I know we've turned this into a mother instead of a advisor conversation. But
because women are still mothers. I mean,
right. Women start right. It's true in most cases. What I would say, like, what was available, because my mom was handled like everything. Like, she was totally the glue. My dad made the money. My mom, she was the sports. She was the team mom. She was the PTA meetings. She was the room mother. She was on every field trip.
Okay.
And that thing shaped me in a way that I was like, okay, I see how this structure is set up. I don't know if ours was the ideal situation, but I think it worked really well. It gave me a great sense of comfort and confidence having my mom around in certain times. And it got to the point, I mean, when I got a little older, she would come to the field trips and the girls would, they would take my mom, but it was cool because I was like,
cool,
I didn't, care. I was glad she was there, but I was glad also that she could be there for them. And that moves into another thing. Like, what are the responsibilities when you do become that parent, whether it's single or if you're in that couple style, because there's more to do inside and out, and it's exhausting. Being a parent is exhausting, whether you're single or whether you're a couple. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
I mean, I couldn't get that. I know that.
But there are some special things about good mothers that is necessary, it's required, and it's just like the love. It's the love, and it's hard, man, because I am so much against people making singular households on choice. Like just choosing, like a lady, like I'm just gonna go to sperm bank. I'm just gonna go have me a baby. Well, does the kid not deserve to have a father?
Yeah, but he does have a father, though.
He doesn't know him. He'll never know him, or she'll never know him. I mean, it's a possibility if.
And this is what's great about the difference in our upbringings. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
You're
because
fine.
I know my mother, and I know how I was brought up, and I know what she did to do. So
take your mom out of the equation. She's exceptional.
Oh man, well, yeah, but see, I can't do that. I'll never do that. I can't do that because
you can't measure every woman at the level where your mom performed. And
wait. I'm not. What I'm telling you is, though, looking back on my life, I can't take out that equation. It's happened, so I can't speak now. Again, I agree with you that I believe that situation is best, but based on what my exceptional mother did, I would say, hey man, I'm fine with it. So I don't know the young lady or the woman or the individual, whoever goes down to the sperm bank or whoever adopts or whatever. I don't know that individual. So that individual and guess what? They may not be ready for it. But they may come to terms that, hey, this is important. So you can't until you have to give someone a shot. You have to try. And if you're waiting around for somebody, that don't always work.
You don't think that's unfair? I mean, I know that people have, I know people have babies sometimes and they break up and it doesn't work and the household split, right? But do you think it's fair off the bat for somebody to make a choice for the other person not to have it? Now, I know bad things happen because I know there's women that die in childbirth, right?
Well, do you believe in God?
Come on, man, absolutely.
Oh, no, I'm not. Come on, we're talking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forget.
We're talking. So my thing is, I knew you before you were, formed or born. I don't know. There's two terms that are very important because people who are anti-abortion or for a certain term and all that. So I don't want to get into that right now. But if it's God's will and everything's working the way it's supposed to work, and those are the things that lay before you, and you were born, was it not meant to be? That's where you got to separate. How do you separate what God's will is or wishes from an individual's wishes? Because you always say, well, that baby's precious. That baby was meant to be here. Or, have you met a baby yet that you pointed at and said, your ass shouldn't be here? I mean, like, I don't, nobody, you don't.
I think there's probably, if we're honest, there are people that maybe shouldn't have been here or haven't benefited the world by being here.
So you're saying, I
don't think I can't say that that's specifically a product of single parenthood, though. You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about people being born that shouldn't have been here. There have been some awful people, man, that have come through. So everybody that's born ends up being an adult or something. Well, if they live through it, they become an adult.
Yeah, I just think it's a subject that we'll have to touch on again later, as far as getting into the aspect of life with God, and are you meant to be here? Are you not meant to be here? Right. What cards were dealt and played? So I guess I'm getting off.
Free will is a thing too.
Absolutely.
So
the fork in the road, as people would say.
But
you got choice.
Right, choice. And that was my whole thing about the kid that doesn't have a choice not to have a father.
But if his father,
think about this. Now think about this. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this real deep and real hard, right? Now, I don't know
your words tonight with a topic. Go ahead, man.
I don't know anybody. I've never heard of anybody. I don't hear about it all in the news. You always hear about women going to the sperm bank, right?
I don't. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's a very common thing that women talk about. There's a lot of people that have done it.
Okay.
Have you ever? Where's the egg bank? Have you ever heard of a man going and saying, "I want to have a kid"? I'm just asking, bro.
What's the is it IVF? What's it called with the helping with the fertilization?
That's normally that's still a couple that's trying to do that. They're trying to conceive.
Okay, but it's still it's eggs and frozen and stuff like that, right? I mean,
yeah, but how
but
many
if a man
guys,
wants to have a baby,
guys go? And I'm talking about straight men at this point.
Okay, you're talking about gay men, straight. Okay,
no. I'm talking about heterosexual straight men. How many of them show up at the egg clinic to have a baby?
You're talking? You're asking me.
I'm asking you a question.
I don't have the numbers on that right now, sir. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. I never heard of it.
I would say it happens so little that it's a foreign thing. Even when people hear this, whenever they see it, they're gonna be like, "Damn, I never thought of that."
So okay, we're talking about the woman, the unfortunate soul that she chooses at the sperm bank, or she don't choose, they give her. She's looking for blue eyes, brown hair, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, she goes through the book and chooses
DNA, whatever. But so do you feel better about it if that man, let's say he's a great man or he's a POS, you can flip either way, it doesn't matter. As long as he had intercourse with her and they had a baby, you feel better about it and he left the house, or does it matter?
No,
I just that. So it's still the same as a father.
I think granted, like I said, I know there are situations that happen, but I don't think we should deliberately go out and try to create a fatherless or motherless child.
Okay. You're talking about going out purposely because it's like wanting to go get a puppy. You feel like you need to go.
Exactly.
You feel like
I want that one.
I want to get one. Okay. Well, that's
right.
You went back to, it comes from upbringing and all that stuff. I mean, you can, whatever, but there's a lot of one night stands. There's a lot of people who party and have a good time, get pregnant, don't have an abortion, have a baby, not prepared. So I don't see a reason why those options should still be available to people who may just on the fling want to. I mean, it's just what it is, man. Remember,
I get it. It's not the norm. Go ahead.
9 months though. She's not going to have it tomorrow just because she wants it today.
Right.
So she's got options to weigh during that pregnancy. Do I keep it? Do I give it up? Do I give it to a family who wants it? There's people who want babies. I mean, they want to raise a child. They're not able to. So adoption's an option. I mean, it's not just because you want it today, you're not going to receive it today. You're going to receive it today, but you're not going to give birth to it today. How about that?
It's a while to bake.
It does.
So, but think about this now. I mean, if a guy hold on
before I lose, because I'll forget.
All right, go ahead.
I would love to see the data on the individuals who go down purposely, singly looking for a child, single parent, and don't keep the child as far as like they give it for adoption or are not successful in raising a child. And successful can be a long range of what your parameters are, right? But I would love to see some data on that topic. Where do you feel, because we're sitting here talking about it like we know about it, but how many single women have gone down to the sperm bank, asked for a donor, given their range of DNA, whatever? I don't think they even get a questionnaire. I don't know. I'd like to find that out and see.
Yeah, we should find that out
and say, hey man, what are there options? Can I pick out what race? What is it like? Or it's like, no, when you're going for adoption, like here's what we have. This is what you get. We just whatever. So I'm curious to know what the success rate is on that.
I don't think adoption is that way. I think you get to choose. What you could say first available.
Well, I think they'll argue with you, not argue with you, but explain to you that, listen, there's a lot of children who need a home. And, we don't go in the system and pick out, because I had the concern years ago with talking with, I forgot what his position was. So a gentleman is sitting in a bar, having a beer or something, talking, and he did, like family relocation, or I don't remember the exact term. It was something where they weren't, like, he dealt with a certain age group, like trying to rehome individuals and stuff. I guess fostering, like if you're fostered, he did He didn't get you he was the one that actually moved you from foster to permanent. I think that's what it was. I don't know the term for it.
Mhm.
He said, if if we meet a couple who's got a certain, thing they need, that it's, this is what we have. We're trying to get these children into a certain home. We're trying to get them into a stable place and whatever, because, so I don't know that you can necessarily pick out the make and model that you want. I mean, it's just not, I don't think that's how, I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert on that system. So
Yeah, we don't know that. I mean, I think, that's why they have these, you come and look at,
you make it sound like somebody going to visit like a I don't know. It's weird. It just sounds weird.
It does,
It
but
doesn't sound weird. It
I
sounds.
think it's great.
That
This is
sounds
what
wrong.
I think is great. I think
You talking about you talking about newborn babies, or you talking about like children of a certain age? Like, what are you?
I
Where-
was
what age
talking about
group
if
are you?
children, if they're already born,
You
then
talking about just like
gotta go look at them.
foster system, like
Oh, the foster. I applaud people that foster correctly.
what's correctly?
Not abusing the children.
Well, no shit.
That's what I'm saying. Correctly.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a certain way, like having sports or don't. Well, no, that goes without saying. Me and you both agree. Yeah, we don't want nobody abusing no fucking kids, man.
No, man. And then there's an issue with
Correctly.
with people that age out that don't have family, because if they're typically in the foster system, they don't have a family, because typically it's a family member would take them in. But if they don't have family, then you got the issue of a kid turning 18 and not having anywhere to go. So there are programs now that have been developed that gives them opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because
in my opinion, if you're going to adopt a child, not so much foster.
if you're adopted, then you're in that family. You're now that family.
Well, but also there's some families that probably once you adopt, they think, okay, you're 18, I'm going to give me another one. You go ahead and go. You never know. I'm sure that happens. But I feel like if you're going to adopt a child, you're just like it's like no other. It's like having a baby. You need to be in that for the long haul, because your kids are going to need you past 18.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're going to need you past 30, bro. I mean, they're going to need you. So, in one way or another, in my opinion. So, man, we done went from body count. We're an hour in, so we'll have to pick this back up, big.
We'll have to pick it up. I think we need to maybe pick it up with let's see if we can get some numbers on.
Yeah, the success rate, with success being a wide range of things, but
right,
that's probably not the right word. But we'll find out like what, how many women a year go to a sperm bank and successfully have a child. We need to find that out.
Single.
No, well, single. Yeah. Without
let's look at that versus the single men.
That's what I meant. I said,
yeah.
Well, single man, I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get data on that, because I don't hear about it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. No, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right.
So in order to be fair across the board, yeah. So anyway, good conversation. It can be tricky to navigate that conversation. We went from body count to how you feel about things to
body count.
Our mothers and fathers, and then we went into some other topics that segue from that with adoption or sperm bank or having a baby naturally, or there's all kinds of stuff there. So, but I would like to find out on that to see, and we'll do, maybe one day we'll just do a follow-up recording where we just post, say, hey, follow up to a live, and we'll just post a little information there with some links below. So right. I appreciate everyone watching and coming along with us.
Yeah,
and
thank you for the ride.
If you have some comments, please put them below. You can go on there, hit us up on different platforms. It's all there in the description below, and we appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Every Sunday 8 p.m. we are live,
Eastern Standard Time.
So yeah, man, that's a good one, big. We're not done with that. We'll have to.
We're not.
Yeah. So
I know for me, I just want the time we're here to be as good as possible for everybody. And I'm saying the time on earth. That's all I'm saying. I mean, everybody's got regrets about life and things of that nature. Absolutely. But if we can learn from other people and not continually repeat the mistakes that we've seen mistakes be, I think it will help us in the long run.
Absolutely. And make sure you comment below on how you feel about that. And if you don't agree with one of us, or you agree with both of us, or on different points, just let us know. I mean, get the topic
That's
started.
what the comment box is for, y'all. Definitely, chat it up. It's all good. And we're looking forward to seeing y'all the next time we're on.
Yeah, so talk to you all soon. Take care, Big.
We're the Outspoken Ones. See you, Billy.
Outspoken. All right, later, brother.